Hello, 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 and welcome to this week's episode of Dungeons and Deductibles, your favorite only D&D game about fantasy insurance claims adjusters in the great, great, great city of Waterdeep. Hello!
He's here!
You're here!
Hello.
Perfect! Alright, well, I'm going to fix some overlay stuff. While that is going on, I will say, let's go around and do some introductions, and we will start with Sinchu.
Hi, I'm Sinchu, and if I ever remember to log into Twitter, you would find me there as I am Sinchu. Today I'm playing not Grackle, other game. I'm playing Mildred Crabtree, a gnome monk, and I am blue. Like just head to stem to stern with purple hair.
Dabba dee dabba die.
That Poppy did this to me. You know, I'm leaning into it. The fashion has changed.
Very nice. All right, and next up we have Jake.
Hey everyone, I'm Jake Friday. You can find me on Twitter at Jake Friday, on Instagram at Jake of the Friday, and I will be playing the Fire Genasi Warlock of the Great Old One, Pact of the Tome, Red Fireson, a character that's inspired by Ned Ryerson from Groundhog Day. And we're in a tomb, and his firebeard should come in handy. Although I forgot about it last time.
Possibly. Robert, go ahead and introduce yourself.
All right, I am the horribly late arriving KY Hawkeye on all social media streams, and I am playing Scandalon Obadias IV. He is a Protector Asimar paladin who finds himself more and more entangled in the workings of this insurance company rather than the temple to which he belongs, and now finds himself trapped in this undead asylum of a tomb.
I like undead asylums. Yay! And last but not least, Hannah.
Hi, my name is Hannah, Asbestositos on Twitter, and I play Poppy Pendergast, who is a bit of a chaosy warlock sort of situation, and I have no idea what's going on because I missed last week.
Yeah, we'll get to that. We will get to that. No sweat. And would you look at that? I am very fast, and the overlay's fixed.
Nice.
Alrighty.
All right. So, yes. So last week on Dungeons and Deductibles, Poppy was regrettably called away to deal with some stuff back at the office. And so she left as the rest of the team explored the City of the Dead, which is the great cemetery that Waterdeep has. Following a pair of tracks, you guys had found a mausoleum that had the name Hayes written along the top. And you all went inside to take a peek around. Down inside, there was like a central room up top, and then there was a door. You picked the lock to go down a little bit deeper through the door, which led you down deep into the earth, where there were ossuary, like rows and rows of ossuaries, lots of skulls and little bone boxes, essentially, from this family. And then at the far end, there was a big set of bronze doors. And you realize very quickly, because you have a paladin in the party, that there were a couple of undead roaming down here. So we had a little combat, first combat of the season, against 3 Bodax, which you all put to rest. No problems there. And after doing that, you were kind of going through all the Bodak stuff, and you found these strange gems on the back of their necks. And I believe it was, Red pried one off the back of one. Mildred actually touched one and had a very strange experience where she was feeling this compulsion to protect the tomb and the mausoleum, and then she heard someone in her head tell her that that wasn't right and that this would not be forgotten. And then whatever compulsion she was under, like, faded away, and the stone shattered in her hand. I believe a short rest was taken. Some contact other plane was had. A new entity this time, different, who answered a few questions. And in the end, the three of you decided not to go through the door because you could sense, Scandalon could sense at least one more undead beyond it. And so you, after your rest, you all decided to go back up into the sunshine, into the rest of the city, to continue working on this life insurance case that you're on. And when you went up to the top of the stairs, someone has closed the door on you and locked it.
I forget who it was that approached the door and found this out.
I think we all were heading out after. Did we hear a voice coming from behind the door and we decided we wanted to take off, or something prompted us to
Nope out.
Yeah, there was some discussion, and I do believe there was a little bit of listening about the door. There was some wailing coming
that's
from
what it was.
beyond the door that made you all a little bit leery of it, and is probably the reason why you ended up trying to nope out of the of this crypt. However, you are now all facing. The three of you are facing this door, which is closed from this side. And from this side, you can't access the lock.
Well, this isn't good. What about... I think I already detected magic on this, right? And didn't...
On the door, I believe so.
I don't think on this one.
I know on the big door downstairs you did detect magic and you got some abjuration magic, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. There's not really any magic on this particular door.
All right. Scandalon tries to just brute force try to
Just
pull it open.
push it open? Yeah. Go ahead and roll me... We'll call it an athletics check.
Okay.
Hold on.
If
Scandalon, you can
Yes?
do this. You can do this. I believe in you. Anything can happen when you dream. Inspiration.
all right, D6
Oh,
or
wait, no, I
D8?
can't do that. I can't do that because it's the same day.
Do you only have... Are you out?
Let me check. I can't remember now. All of a sudden, if my bardic inspirations come back with short rest or long rest.
I think...
Don't worry about it. I still have the inspiration left over from when we came back that the DM gave us a few episodes back.
Oh, then yes,
I
you can
haven't used that yet, so I can use that.
That is perfectly legit. You can use that.
And is that a D6 or a D8? Oh, kind and benevolent DM.
We will call it... we'll call it advantage,
Okay.
which generally comes
That'll
out to
work.
about a +5, so that's...
All right. All right. Athletics. I get +7 to the natural 20.
Oh, there we go. There it is.
What a way to start the night.
Yep. Yes, it is. So you, Scandalon, you back up a little bit. bend your shoulder down, brace yourself, and then just take a little bit of a running charge at this door. And it is not that strong of a door. It just caves behind your paladin brawniness. And you burst back out. You kind of, having gotten a running start, you have to like run a few steps into that upper chamber.
Right.
But you're able to.
It's a little uphill with the steps, but
Yeah.
I'm more than up to it.
But you burst right through and right into the main like surface area room of the mausoleum.
All right. Follow me, everyone.
Definitely no out of there.
That was impressive.
Slam the door behind us.
Okay. Yeah, you can. At this point, the lock on it is kind of shot because Scandalon just like forced the lock out of the wall, basically.
Mending.
Yeah, you can mend. You can do some mending to fix it. Sure.
Obviously, otherwise it'll have to come out of my expense account. With the firm.
We don't have expense accounts.
Oh, that's right.
This
Chapter
is Fall
9.
City.
What have you been using for expense accounts? Oh, God.
Sorry, I forgot. Chapter 9, paragraph 7, subsection 13. All damages done by agents are their personal responsibility and not the responsibility of the company.
That's exactly what I was thinking about. I read that last night. So that's when you were doing that, I was kind of like, oh, but we have to get out of there. So it seemed worth it. It's still midday, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's probably like early afternoon now at this point because you were down in there for over an hour.
Are there still? How busy is the City of the Dead with people visiting? Like, is there, when we burst out of there, is it like
Well, so
a
to be
family
clear,
walking by?
So to be clear, you burst out into the ground floor chamber of the mausoleum,
right?
Not
So
directly out into the sunlight.
Right.
So you can walk outside and be in the City of the Dead proper if you want to, but you didn't like break this lock in full view of anyone.
Okay.
There's nobody else in here with you at the moment. With the time of day, I mean, it's not going to be the same level of busy as a street is going to be, but there's going to be a few people around. I mean, probably no one real close, but a couple like 100 or so yards away, there's probably going to be like some folks milling around the headstones.
I'm following you guys. We heading back to the office?
I believe we were headed out to, 1, seek out some restoration for yourself, and 2, to go check out the body. As well as get ourselves some rest before exploring what was behind the bronze door downstairs.
Thank you for reminding me. I'm pretty sure Shafafana is doing everything in its power to just prevent me from remembering to get greater restoration.
Why do I not find that surprising?
Yeah, I'm beginning to just not appreciate. Yeah, I'm talking to you.
It's like a redneck barbecue. What are you looking at? Yeah, I'm talking to you.
So where are you all going?
All right.
I have things to research.
Yeah. Did you want to go with, do we need to see the dearly departed first, or do we head straight back to where we need to research?
Well, we're already here. Is the body here? No, it was at
Timora?
Yeah, the body is at a small temple to Timora, not too far away.
Yeah, let's go speak to... Checking notes.
I don't think you have a name for the people at the temple.
No, the name for the the dearly departed
Ted Stumbletoe. Yes.
That would be Ted Stumbletoe.
Yes, Ted Stumbletoe, lead of the biggest halfling crime family in Waterdeep.
Not for long.
Not if the Pendergasts have anything to say about it.
All right, now we know what Poppy's really doing.
Right. So the three of you head over in that direction. It's not too far, and Timor is a pretty popular goddess, so it's pretty easy to find her temple. You guys would pretty much know where it is at this point. Cutting away real quick. So, Poppy, you were called away on an errand back somewhere. What did you get called away for?
Did I get called away by work?
It can be work. It can be personal.
Considering the context, I feel like it probably was a full family thing. I got called away to... that's a good question. I got called away to watch my parents' dog because they were at the funeral.
Okay. The funeral hasn't happened, but your parents did go to
the wake.
The halfling wake. So, you were gonna go with the rest of the team to the City of the Dead, and then your mom ran out of the house and shouted for you, Poppy, until you came back over and basically ordered you to go back home and check on the family dog. So you more or less use your lunch break, quote unquote, to go home. Check on the dog. What's the dog's name?
The dog's name is Miranda.
Miranda. Is it named after Ted's wife? Oh, that's dirty. Wow.
Halfling.
And it's wild because, I have so many I have siblings that can do this, but my mom just saw me and I was the one that got the one to, go check, let Miranda the dog out, so.
Yeah, so you go home and let Miranda out. Give Miranda a little bit of food, let her run around for a bit. And then... knowing sort of that your friends were generally going into the City of the Dead, and then you had all kind of agreed later in the day that you were going to go check out the body, maybe do some speak with Dead, you also head to the Temple of Timora.
Okay.
So I would say you probably get there first because they took a full short rest down in the crypt, and you probably only takes you half an hour or so to run home, let the dog out, and come back. Mm-hmm. But they're not too far behind you, so you pretty much no sooner get there, about 5 minutes you wait, and then you see the three of them coming towards you through the crowd.
And I'm still in halfling morning clothes, so I didn't change. I'm I'm not gonna go home and change. I'm just here all day. I'm in this all day. So, well, hey guys, how'd it go?
That was. So there were these things, and I think they were Bodaks.
Ugly.
Seriously gross and dusty, and it was, and they had these things on their, and it smashed it hurt, and then I'm glad that's over.
Stones in their neck, smashed in her hand, and I think you mentioned it talked to you a little bit, right?
Well, something did, but I don't know if it was the...
Right.
Well...
Is that normal? Do I know if that's normal?
Not for me, it's not.
No, I'm asking the DM. Do I know if
I will... So they did a pretty hefty bit of Arcana-ing, but you can roll 1, 2 to see if you've ever heard of anything like this.
Alrighty.
You are a warlock, so maybe,
Nope.
You got nothing?
Definitely one of the most unusual events that I've ever seen.
Nope.
experiences with the undead
hold on,
we've ever
is this
faced.
an Arcana check?
Arcana, yeah.
Oh, then 10.
With a 10, no, you've not heard of anything like this before.
Okay.
I don't remember my precise Arcana check, but I remember that one of us got over a 20.
Yeah, I think it was you.
It was? Okay.
Yeah.
Do I know if that's normal?
I think you were told
Guessing
it's a control stone.
Yeah, the best guess, I think that was actually your check, Jake. That, the best guess you have is that, yeah, so you had seen through Detect Magic that this was necromancy combined with enchantment. And, yeah, your best guess, especially after what Mildred went through, is that this is some kind of control stone. Sort of like how a slot has a control gem. This is very similar, but for an undead.
So putting those together, no, that's not normal.
No, it's
But the control, did you call it a control stone?
yeah, it's just the slots. If they're created on plane of Mechanus, then they come with these control stones sometimes. Or if you know the reproductive cycle of slots, and they implant one of their eggs inside of you, and it bursts out of your chest, then those don't have control stones. It's pretty interesting if
That's
you
gross.
are not immediately experiencing it.
Okay, so there were slots?
No. It's just I kind of went off on a tangent there.
Oh,
It's
okay. Cool. Good to know. And then she's gonna pull out her thing and start writing.
Your clipboard?
If you care to join us, we are headed to view the body of the deceased.
Oh yeah, I'm going to talk to him.
Oh, okay, good. Well, I do still need to be observing you, and also I got a little bit of a horse in this specific race, unfortunately. So, but hey, I'm in HR, so no one can call me out on conflict of interest.
Right. Let's go to the Temple of Timora.
All right. You head inside the Temple of Timora. This particular temple, as I've said before, it's not too terribly big. There's the main temple, and then there's sort of a few private chambers in the back, and then like a cloister sort of off to the side for the priests. And inside, you do notice most of the worshippers moving in and out of this temple are more halflings. This is definitely sort of the halfling temple within the city, which kind of makes sense. You know, halflings are pretty lucky, and Timora is the goddess of luck. That tracks.
Is there anyone gambling? Is there anyone gambling?
Not at the temple, no. But there are quite a few inns nearby, so you could probably find some gambling if you went looking for it. And inside, you can see a couple of priests wearing robes with the symbol of Timora who are wandering around. One is like leading like a prayer circle off in a corner. One is lighting some candles near the altar. You don't see Ted's body anywhere, but it's possible they have it back in a room somewhere.
All right. Scandalon looks for whoever looks like the most officious person here
You.
to see if we can find where we need to go to view the body.
Sure. Yeah, so you're a paladin. You're used to moving in holy spaces. It is not hard for you to determine based on sort of the quality of the robes and just the general bearing of the different priests in the room that the priest who is lighting the candles definitely seems to be the most senior of the ones here.
Has the most accoutrements and stuff on the robe.
Most accoutrements, and she's keeping. It's a she. She's keeping kind of an eye on the other priests in the room, like the one that's leaving the prayer circle. She's sort of watching from a distance and making sure everything is being taken care of.
Mm-hmm. Even though this isn't my temple, I respect that it is temple to a different deity, and I slowly and respectfully approach, but don't barge in to try to create a conversation.
Sure. She's doesn't even really move her head, like she doesn't look at you directly, but when you get within a close enough distance for her to really have like a private conversation with you, she says, "What can I do for you, Child of Helm?"
Greetings. My name is Scandalon Obadias. I am from the Temple of Helm, but right now I am here for my duties as a member of the team from Waterdavian Farm. We are here to view the body of Ted, the late Ted Stumbletoe. We are investigating their life insurance claim, and we need to view the body.
Of course. Miranda let me know that you might be visiting within the next day or so. Is it just you, or did the company send more than one representative?
It is the four of us here, and I point out everyone else in the party.
The short people come out from behind and
yeah, the short people just appear. She looks over at the three. She actually turns her head this time to look at the three of you. You see her eyes linger a bit on Red with his smoking beard, and she frowns a little bit.
No, it's just it's a long story. But anyways, are you accustomed to people? So I was thinking, I want to cast a ritual spell around Ted so I can speak to him to see if anything untoward happened. Are you okay with that, or is that not a lucky type of Timora thing?
She peers at you a little bit more closely, and she says, "You are not a cleric, nor are you a paladin."
No, but I am kind of lucky, I've been told. I can prove it. You want to play a game of chance?
That will not be necessary. She turns and looks at Scandalon again, and she says, Child of Helm, do you vouch for your companion? You're muted, by the way.
Oh no, silence spell.
Yes, he may be the newest member of our team, but he has more than shown his value as an investigator with us to this point. So I more than vouch for his abilities. Maybe not totally for character, but I can definitely vouch for his abilities.
I've got a great character.
She smiles at you. She says, "I'm sure you do, dear." And she looks back at Scandal and she says, "Well, if you're willing to vouch for him and keep an eye on things, then I'm sure that this will be fine." And
on my honor as a servant of Helm, I promise you that nothing untoward should happen. If it does, I will take full responsibility.
Oh yeah, he'll smite me just out of this temple. It won't even be a problem. Nothing's going to happen.
Well, that's very generous of you, Child of Helm. Yes, if you'll follow me, I'll take you back and leave you to your investigative work. And she turns and starts heading back toward the back of the temple. And she leads you all back there where, as I said, there are like a few sort of rooms back here, off chambers, smaller chapels, private rooms for things like, I don't have Bible study, but like Holy Scroll study, something along those lines, right?
I was going to ask you, like, what is a Timora, since it's luck? That's why I was asking about like gambling and like chance, because I'm wondering what a temple of Timora would be like if it's like.
Well, it's still respectful.
I'm sure they have the sacred writings that they must learn and study from.
Are there dice?
There aren't dice. So you don't see any obvious signs of gambling or anything like that. But I would say that there do appear to be small things left to chance, kind of as just a way of inviting the goddess's presence in.
Sure.
Like windows left open to let in a stray breeze intentionally. Like just small touches like that are really more not so much about the gambling component as they are just allowing her to come in and provide luck for everyone. And the priestess, she takes you back through, a hallway with these rooms, and she stops at one and pulls a key ring from her belt and opens the door. Inside this room, it's a small, like a viewing room. If you've ever been to a funeral parlor, they usually have the room where they would, put the casket, and there's usually some like couches and stuff in there, and chairs, things like that, so that the family and the friends can gather. This is very similar. Ted's not on a casket, but his body is laid out on a stone bier, I guess would be the right word. And it's pretty clear he's being tended. His body has not decayed or anything like that. He's still in, pristine condition. He just looks like he's sleeping. And there's no one else in the room. It was locked until she opened it. But you can see that there are, there's some chairs placed at intervals throughout the room. There's a stand on the far end with like a little podium so that, if someone wanted to get up and say nice words, they could. And you can see that there's, a holy icon of Timora in here. Just kind of, basic temple religious iconography. And the priestess gestures to let you all go inside and says, I'll check back on you in half an hour or so. If you need me or any of the rest of our priests here at the temple, you only need ask.
Would you happen to know, as you so astutely pointed out, I'm not a cleric or anything like it. I am in need of a restoration, maybe I'm thinking greater restoration. Do you know, are you able to, if I make a donation to Timora, are you able to help me with that after this?
Yes, it is within my capabilities to perform such a spell, and also within the capabilities of several of our other priests here at the temple. So I'm sure if you were to make a reasonable donation to the temple, we could provide that service.
Excellent. That's fantastic. Thank you so much.
You're welcome, of course. May Timora's blessings go with you. And
You as well.
She will turn and go back to the main section of the temple, leaving you alone with the body.
So Red will take out some. You guys ready for this? So you'll take out some incense.
Ready when you are, good
Excited
sir.
about it. I've never seen anything like this. Do you
I'm
know?
ready, and I ready my clipboard and my pen.
Well, I'm not getting evaluate. Never mind. So,
Be careful. She may be trying to learn how to perform this.
oh, I mean, she's welcome to. She's welcome to it. I'm not sure she can read what's in my book. I've been told it's illegible, unreadable mishmash of symbols.
Oh, it's written in abyssal then.
I hadn't thought about that, but that can. Maybe I'll need multiple restoration spells if that's the case. So the way this works, it's not a ritual. I just checked in my book. I can just cast it. Mm-hmm. It's so the corpse. We can ask it 5 questions. It knows only what it knew in life, including the languages it knew. Answers are brief, cryptic. Yeah, so think about any questions and I'm really bad with some of these questions. If you could hear some of the questions I ask, thinking back, I get real embarrassed about it when I contact other plane. But so I'm going to burn this incense. This is really good incense I got from Mithranor. Have you guys ever been to Mithranor? It's this weird forest east. I got lost in there for a while with my party. But anyway, so I'm going to burn this and we'll just begin.
Make it so.
Okay. I just burn it with my hand because I can just produce flame. And then I cast the spell.
All right, you cast Speak with Dead. And I think of this as almost like fishing on a metaphysical level. You sort of cast a lure out into the afterlife and reel back in the spirit that belongs to this body.
It's good incense. So if that's the bait.
Yeah, it's good incense. That's what you're using as the bait. And you feel the spell latch on to something as it, goes crawling for the right person and reel them back in to the body. And on the beer, you hear kind of a noise as Ted Stumbletoe's spirit, ever so briefly, returns to his body to answer your questions.
Hey, Ted, how you doing?
Oh, nope.
Not well.
Mildred pulls off her glasses and pinches the bridge of her nose and shakes her head.
I'm going to start taking notes on a completely different clipboard. This is the family clipboard.
Just produces another clipboard.
It's all clipboards all the way down, baby. Ugh.
So, Ted, we are here investigating what happened to you, and we wanted to know if you recognize the person who, I don't know how to put this, killed you. Yeah, I don't know how to put it in a different way.
I recognized him, but only in a general sense. I've never seen his face.
Everyone's hearing this, right? It's not...
Yeah, no. This is not like Contact Other Plane where you're the only one who hears it. In fact, any one of you can ask questions as long as it's sort of approved by the person who's asking, who's kind of...
Red, do you think I could take the next one?
As long as you don't mess it up like I did.
Cool. Tight. Hi. Doesn't matter who I am. So when you say in a general sense, where have you met this guy before?
There's a very long, drawn-out pause, and then he says, I hate to tell a Pendergrast this. I met this person in the City of the Dead. They had a business offer for me. I declined.
What was the business offer, sir? I look at everyone, I go,
They offered to pay me a substantial sum of money if I would falsify an insurance claim. Preferably the destruction of my home.
Do
One
you
left.
know?
You
Do
only
you
have
know
one question left.
Do we ask who?
Well,
No, he doesn't know who.
he doesn't know who.
Is it okay?
Hold on.
Mildred or Scandalon, do you want to?
Hi, I'm Mildred. Um, can you tell us, please, everything that you remember about the circumstances that might help us to identify the interested party, your killer? An accent, a description of their body type, how they convinced you to go from where you found them in the house to the dining room, anything.
So, are you asking, just for me to be clear with you, Mildred? Are you asking for the circumstances of the original meeting, or are you asking for the circumstances of his death?
Of the death.
Okay.
Of actually, I think I said any of the circumstances of either meeting, or anything about the person that can help us identify him.
Okay. Let me see here.
I'm going for gold here.
That's fine. Getting some of my notes out real quick just to make sure I don't mess anything up in what I tell you. Okay. Yeah. Ted says the meeting took place late at night in the city of the dead. The person making the offer wore a hooded cloak and kept their face hidden. They referred to themselves as the Watcher.
You've heard that before. The Watcher.
We were not far from my home. That encounter took place 2 days before I died. The person who I spoke to that night, I am reasonably confident is the same person who broke into my home and killed me.
He's not going to answer the part about body type or accent or anything, is he?
I'm trying to think what to tell you, because it's...
Was he a small or a tall?
yeah, I can give you that much. So, he'll say, I do not have a proper description to provide for you. They were taller than I, perhaps human or elf, but without being able to see their face, I truly cannot tell you. I think that they were male, based on the timbre of their voice and the size.
Amber.
But I cannot be sure.
Thank you very much, Ted. We're sorry to disturb your rest.
And you just hear as Ted's spirit leaves. And you feel speak with dead end.
I feel pretty good about that. We found out that the Watcher, we've heard that before. We found out Ted has a good vocabulary with tamper. And Yeah, I guess there's nothing stopping me from casting it again. I've never tried it twice in a row.
So there is
A less chance or no chance?
no. So it says the spell fails if the corpse was the target of this spell within the last 10 days.
Oh, no, it's fine print in my book. It says we can come back in 10 days.
Well, I think we're going to be done with it by then, so that's just fine.
By then, the body should be interred by whatever
Or
fashion
alive
they
again.
choose.
Who knows? So here's the thing: we keep hearing the word "the Watcher." Think we need to maybe do some digging.
Mm-hmm.
So there's that.
Literal digging or research digging?
Research digging, but maybe some literal digging. I
It
don't
may
know.
end up being both before we're done.
We should check under the house and see if there's any more of those marks like there was.
Oh, yes. The marks for death sort of thing. That's absolutely.
And he said it was close to his house, which the family mausoleum was pretty close.
Yeah.
And we were just
Or
there.
maybe it's in his office. Or
My guess would be, since the symbol has been found every place that was destroyed or damaged, that it's probably, if there's ones to be found, it'll probably be in the house, in or on the house somewhere.
I agree. So that means we have to go back to the wake.
You don't have to if you don't want to. It seems like you're not enthusiastic about it.
Well, okay. It's my job to be with you guys, though. I have to.
As long as it does not provide, as they say, a conflict of interest.
Oh, no, we don't have to worry about that. I'm HR. I make those rules anyway, I think. If I don't, I'm HR. It doesn't matter.
Who watches the HR though? Who
watches the HR men?
Yeah. I was trying to
Who
come up
watches the Watcher? That's exactly what we're trying to figure out.
I think that's what we're trying to do.
Who keeps Poppy accountable? That's a whole different story.
Oh, well, okay. Anything else we need to do here besides I would like to take a few minutes and talk to, did we get her name?
She might know who the Watcher is.
Scandalon, did you get her name?
I do not believe she shared it with us.
About to ask, but then she left.
Okay.
We'll probably be able to find her.
I'm pretty lucky, so got a good feeling about finding her. So
Before we head, go ahead.
Okay. No,
Before-
if you,
Before we head out, I pray a blessing or whatever the Temple of Helm's version of last rites is on the body, since technically we did disturb the spirit.
Yeah, you can
Before we head
absolutely
out.
do that. So you are heading back to the main chamber of the temple, correct?
Mm-hmm.
And as you step out into that main chamber, and the priestess that you spoke to, it is literally standing like right in front of you, almost like she knew that that you were about to come out from the room. And she's accompanied by a kind of nervous-looking halfling priest. He's kind of got his head bowed a little bit, and he's holding like a little coin box, basically. And the priestess looks at the four of you and says, "Ah, how fortuitous.
Indeed.
I've been asking around amongst our priesthood, and I found that my companion here," and she gestures toward the person next to her, coming up with a name for him. My companion Belder here is currently studying spells of restoration, and this would provide an excellent opportunity for him to get some practice.
Excellent. And
We're guinea pigging it.
well, so greater restoration. Okay. And what would be a fair donation to the church? Is that appropriate? I don't.
Yes, let's see. Well, since Belder is still something of a student, let's say 25 gold.
Fantastic. I produced 25 gold and handed over. We didn't get your name, by the way, and I apologize for not asking.
It's no trouble. My name's Audrey. It's nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. I'm Red. I think Scandalon said that. I don't, but I'm Red.
Pleasure. And Belder holds out the little, collection tin, essentially, for you to put your coins down in.
I happily deposit them in.
Can I go
Belder,
ahead and put in the other 75 gold because I know how much this takes in diamonds.
and Belder will take the tin back and he hands it off to Audrey. And she'll kind of tuck it under an arm. And she says, all right, Belder, let's see it. And so Belder kind of rubs his hands together a little bit and does a deep breath. And then lays his hands on, so he's a halfling and you're not. I was going to say your shoulders, but that's not going to work. Probably on your kneecaps.
Kneecaps. Red's decently tall.
Yeah. He lays a hand on either of your kneecaps. And you feel a wave of divine energy wash over you. And off in the corner, where Shafafana has been kind of messing around with the altar of Timora, very irreverently, you see Shafafana look up and then just wave at you.
Aww.
And Shafafana just slowly goes like translucent and then fades away as this greater restoration spell takes hold. And Belder opens his eyes and says, did it work?
Yeah, that was a roller coaster of emotions. I've been seeing this entity called Shafafana, and it's just been annoying me, not very helpful most of the time. And it was only I can see it apparently, and I don't think it can touch things here on the material, but I was just like in the corner of my eye as you were doing that. He was messing with the altar of Timora, and so that made me annoyed that he would be rude. And then once you were more going through the spell more, he kind of faded out and looked kind of sad, and then I got sad. So, but yes, to answer your question, no more Shafafana.
Belder looks around a little bit confusedly as if he's trying to see where Shafafana was. And then sees nothing and turns back to you and says, well, I'm glad that we could help. Thank you.
Great job.
for your kind donation. And he takes the box back from Audrey.
Highest marks.
Audrey gives him a little bit of a clap as Belder walks away. He does have a little bit more spring in his step now, since he successfully completed the spell. And Audrey looks back at the four of you and says, well, is there anything else? Was your conversation with Ted fruitful?
Yeah, it was good.
I believe we gathered some of the information that we were searching for. Thank you for allowing us the privilege to enter.
Of course.
I've got a question, Audrey, if it's okay. I feel, as I mentioned, I feel like I have a lot of fortune on my side, and I was wondering if it's normal for a Genasi, half Genasi, half human to have that type of favor from Timora, or is it a different type of thing? And I, under the table, mechanically, I'm referring to my luck.
You have the feet.
Thank you, feet. I couldn't remember that word.
Audrey just kind of smiles and nods and, well, my child, Timora is... We joke here that she marches to the beat of her own drum. She's not the kind of deity that you can pin down, and she chooses who she favors on her own whims, according to a logic that we cannot divine, we can only accept. So if you found yourself blessed by good fortune, then you can conclude that the goddess must see something of worth in you. And that is a great blessing to have.
It sure is. Jake and Red says. That feat is amazing. Yeah, Red's just stoked.
Is there anything else I can help you with? You all have something of a grim look on your face.
Well,
Do you know who the Watcher is?
Not per se, although we've heard a few stories of someone or something that lurks in the city of the dead at night. Most of the reports we've had from members of our congregation here speak of a hooded figure who often appears at a distance and simply watches, as the name implies.
Where are they usually found within the city of the dead? Do you know?
I've heard reports from several different locations, mostly concentrated on the southern side of the cemetery.
Is the house near the southern side of the cemetery?
It is. It backs up onto the southern side, yeah.
And is that where the Hayes Mausoleum is that we were in?
The Hayes Mausoleum is a little bit deeper. You guys walked for like 20 minutes to get to it. But if you looked at the City of the Dead on a map, the Hayes Mausoleum would still be within the southern half, yes.
Remind me the significance of the Hayes Mausoleum specifically, why that was...
So the footprints that you followed back from the Stumbletoes house went to the Hayes Museum. And that you all recognize the Hayes as being a fairly prominent family here in Waterdeep. And I think it was you in particular who knows that there's at least one Hayes involved with all city insurance. But you don't know precisely who they are or what their role is.
Well,
that was super helpful in terms of, I thought it was such a esoteric name. I was just, we were going to have to research and go to Candlekeep and ask around and...
Well, it's only a rumor. We've had no real confirmed sightings. It could just be people's imaginations playing tricks on them.
well, unfortunately, it does not appear to be a rumor, and it appears to be committing murder and insurance fraud. So that's nice.
Insurance fraud is a bit of a strange crime for something that hangs around in a graveyard.
There's
Trust
no
me.
telling.
Trust me, milady, this everything that appears to be dealing with this watcher is more than beyond the realms of the standard or the normal, as we would define it.
Do you think it's some form of undead, Child of Helm?
We are not sure yet. We know it definitely is dealing in things with the arcane. And I show her a picture of the picture or rubbing of the symbol that we have.
Okay. She peers at it and she says, interesting. This is not good magic.
No, it does not.
Quite dangerous, and she doesn't quite touch it, but she just sort of like hovers a hand over it as if she's like tracing lines and trying to understand what it does. And you found this symbol in several places.
We have found it in at least 2 locations so far.
And you're
There may be more. We are not aware. We do not know yet.
Are you going to continue investigating this matter?
Very much so.
Well,
Although I think this case might be closed. We have confirmed. It is what it is. So
Audrey bows her head for a moment as it looks like she's thinking, but Scandalon, you've seen this posture on other clerics, particularly ones that have a pretty strong relationship with their deities. It almost looks like she's some form of prayer or communion.
Trying to commune or communicate with their deity.
Yeah. And
I've seen the high priestess at Helm do this.
Yeah,
several
yes,
times.
the high priest. Yes, Priscilla can do this as well. So you completely recognize it for what it is, and she opens her eyes a minute later, and she says, "I believe this is a matter of grave concern, and you appear to be the ones who have been chosen to deal with it. There's not much aid I can give you, unfortunately, but we do what we can here to influence luck as much as we can." And as she says those words, you all feel sort of a warm glow in your chest, and you feel like a little bit better, in the sense that you feel a little bit more confident, you feel a little bit smarter, a little bit more physically fit, and so mechanically, you are now all under the effects of the Bless spell
Heck
for the
yeah.
next 24 hours.
yay!
Everybody remind each other about that when we need to roll for the next 24 hours.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
She says,
Do you think there's anywhere else we can go to hear more about this watcher? I know you said it's an urban legend, but anyone else who's seen it or who might know of any legends or whatever?
Well, it's not a particularly old legend. Only within the last decade or so. There's a few members of our congregation who have reported seeing this being. I could give you their names if you like. I don't know how much help they'll really be able to provide, but if you would like to speak with them.
We would love that. Thank you.
All right. And she's going to give you a list of 3 names, which I will put in our Zoom chat. Can I do this? Yes, I can. All right. I was trying to make sure that I could do extra enter. That I could put spaces between the things. I can't speak today. So I need and she will give you, so the three names are Lily, Elster, and Roderick.
Okay.
And she gives you directions to all of either a home or a place of residence for each of them. And I would say Poppy, these are all halflings. So you've probably not heard of all of them, but you've probably heard of at least one.
Roderick and I went to Hobbit school together.
Cool. Yeah, so you see the name Roderick on the list and you go, oh my god, I know that guy.
Oh, wow. I wonder how he's doing.
Yes, she
Hobbit
hands
school.
this list over to you.
Hobbit school, yeah.
It's just a coincidence.
We're deep in the halfling community now. So
And getting deeper.
Awesome.
the nuance. This whole campaign is just learning about halfling culture.
I'm down.
Surprise.
Best.
Well,
Other than funerals, almost everywhere we go is probably going to have biscuits and coffee.
Yeah.
well, do we want to break up the list and go maybe talk to these guys real quick?
Sure.
Or DM, is this something that we can kind of do in a montage sort of situation?
I would say we probably want to RP at least one of them. They're probably going to have pretty similar stories. There might be some variation, but we could synopsize variation in the other two.
Okay. Just for the sake of, expediency.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's up to you. I mean, if you guys also have the option, if you know something's up in the City of the Dead, you're welcome to do that as well. It's entirely up to you.
I would personally want to talk to Roderick, just because I know him and I can maybe get a little bit more detail out of him. If we can I'm just hunting for crumbs at this point, kind of thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the rest of you are good with that?
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
that makes perfect sense.
Okay. So you are going to head off to go see Roderick. Roderick is not far. This is sort of a very halfling-centric area of Waterdeep. So you don't need to go very far to find his home. It's getting to be later in the day, so it's fairly reasonable that if he's not there now, he will be soon. So you are able to just head over there. Poppy, because you guys went to school together, you probably recognize this house because this is Roderick's family's house that he has inherited. And so you probably spent some time here as a child. You recognize the address as you all head over there. It is a halfling-sized home, unlike the home of the Stumbletoes, which is very much built to also sort of function as a place of business. This is a little bit more, it's going to be a little bit more cramped for our medium-sized party members. It's a very quaint, cheery little cottage. a garden out front, very well tended, lots of different herbs, vegetables, etc., that are being grown out here, and neat little planters and rows. Everything is painted with like very cheerful, bright colors. You can hear sounds of talking inside, so definitely sounds like somebody's home. And before you knock, we are gonna go on break. And we will pick back up in about 10-ish minutes. So about 9:05, we will come back and we will talk to Roderick and see what Roderick has to say about the Watchers. So thank you, everyone who's watching with us. Stay tuned. Go use the bathroom yourself. Get a drink, get a snack. And we will be back with you shortly.
Yay!
Hello and welcome back. We are back from our break and ready to talk to more halflings, because that's what this game has turned into for the last couple of sessions. So when we left off at the break, the party has gone to the house of Roderick, an old school friend of Poppy's, to talk to him about seeing the Watcher in the city of the dead, and see if they can glean any more information. So we will pick back up there. I believe Poppy was about to knock. You hear a voice say, "1 second!" And there's the sound of something falling, like a thud noise. And then a few seconds later, the door opens, and you can see the person who opened the door is a halfling man, sort of middle-aged-ish. Close to whatever Poppy's age is, to be honest.
Poppy's she's on the whatever halfling late 20s is.
Okay, so maybe a little bit older than you, a year or two, essentially. And
he was super cool in school. He was a cool guy.
And behind him, you can see 2 small halfling children laughing and running. And they run into another room, and you hear something else crashing and falling. And he stands on the stoop for a second, looking at you, and he goes, "Poppy?
Hey!
Poppy, it's been so long. How are you doing?"
Do the hug. And
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we're actually here. Well, I went to a wake today, obviously. Did you hear about the Stumbletoe incident?
I did. So sad.
Very sad. And, well, there's a bit of a situation. So I work for, an insurance company. Yes. And, we're on a little bit of a trail, and we just want to ask you some questions about something we might have heard. Not that you're involved, but you might have some enlightening information.
Okay. It's a bit weird, but yeah. I mean, come on in. Don't mind the mess. The kids are a bit rambunctious today.
It's fine. It's fine. So I will walk in.
Okay.
Normally, because this is a normal-sized house to me.
Yeah, for you, this is completely normal. And for Mildred, this is fine, too.
How far do I have to stoop?
You have to stoop... You don't have to stoop too much. Like a foot, maybe.
Okay.
Because if you think about it, in a human house, our ceilings are usually about 10 feet, right? Give or take. So the ceilings are higher than, the ceilings are more like 5-ish feet tall in a halfling home. Which means that if you're taller than that, yeah, you have to stoop a little, but it's not too bad.
I don't have to go to my knees or anything like
No.
that. Okay. That's what I wanted to make sure of first.
I think Red will stay outside just because he would have to crouch a lot. He would just wait.
Okay. Yeah, you can chill outside. No problem. Roderick will take you into the sitting room, which is a very cozy, den-like room. Lots of cushy couches, and there are toys everywhere. And he kicks a few of them aside. Picture Lego-like toys that he's just picking up as he goes, and he's I'm seriously so sorry for the mess, but
Stay at home, Dad.
Yeah. My wife has a pretty good job, and I always wanted kids, so I decided to stay here. It's fine most days. Like I said, they're just a bit rambunctious today.
We sit on the couch. It squeaks. I pull out the thing. This is yours.
Yeah, sorry. He takes it and sets it down. He's like, do you want
Don't worry. Children will be children.
Huh. Do you want, like, a cup of tea or something?
We shouldn't be here that long. We just got a couple questions.
All right. He sits down.
So we heard that you've seen the Watcher.
A little bit of the color drains out of his face. Yes.
Can you tell us about it?
I suppose, since it's you asking, Poppy, I can. It's not really a pleasant memory.
I wouldn't expect it to be. I'm very sorry we have to ask.
Well, it was not too long after my parents died, a few years back. I had gone out to their headstones to, lay some flowers and say a few nice words. The grief was still pretty sharp, and going to the graveyard to visit them helped. And I went out in the evening that night after my wife had come home, and so she could keep an eye on the kids. And I was standing there at the gravesite, and everything got cold all of a sudden. Like, physically cold, but also just like chills on the back of your neck. And I got the feeling of being watched. I'm sure you've had those moments before where you feel like someone's watching you, and you look up and see someone's watching you from across a room or something. It was like that. And I looked up because it was late. Not a lot of people like to go into graveyards in the evenings, and after this I can kind of understand why. There was a figure watching me, probably maybe 150, 200 feet away, and dressed all in black. They had a hood up, which by itself really shouldn't be that big of a deal. I mean, you should still be able to see the person's face, but I don't know if they were wearing a mask or if it was some kind of magic that they were using, but I couldn't see anything of their face. And they watched me for a minute, or at least their head was turned toward me. They were standing underneath a tree, and then I heard a voice on the wind, sort of. I don't think it came from them directly, but something said, I really don't know what it meant by it, but not suitable. And the thing, whatever it was, it turned and took 3 or 4 steps and vanished.
Was this near the Hayes Mausoleum at all?
It wasn't especially close, but I mean, the Hayes Mausoleum was probably maybe half a mile.
Well, thank you. We appreciate that. Do you guys have any other questions? I look at everybody.
Did your parents, forgive me for asking, but, oh, hi, I'm Mildred.
Hi.
Did your parents die together?
They didn't technically die together, although it was close. My mother died first. She was sick, and my father passed not too long after. I don't think he was really interested in being without her.
I'm so sorry for your loss.
Oh, I appreciate it. It's been a couple of years though.
Did they have insurance? Life insurance or business insurance?
I mean, yeah, we all did. I mean, we used their life insurance to pay for the funeral and all of the funeral costs. I mean, and we have insurance. I mean, we have life insurance on me and on my wife, and health insurance, property insurance on the house.
If you're approached by anyone who's asking you to possibly commit insurance fraud, not that you would, but would you let us know? Here's our card.
He takes the card and he says, yeah, it seems like that would be a bit of a strange request, but I mean, yeah, I'll let you know if
Thank you. We've had some people that have been very unfortunate lately. They've been approached by people asking them to do this.
Sure.
And some have said yes and some have said no, and it hasn't gone well for anyone.
I mean, yeah, he looks at your card and sort of like flips it over and he says, our policies are with you.
Oh. Okay.
Pardon me for asking. I am Scandalon Obadias. I presume that the deaths of your mother and father were of, shall we say, natural means.
I mean,
nothing untoward happened to them or anything.
No, not that I'm aware of. Mom was sick for years, and we took her to cleric after cleric, and none of them could really do anything for her. So we weren't surprised when she died. Just sad. And like I said, Dad, I think, just didn't want to live without her.
Again, pardon me for asking. We've been investigating some, shall we say, strange occurrences and all that. And we just wanted to make sure that your family was not one drawn into some of these unfortunate circumstances. And again, my condolences to you and your family.
I mean, I hope not, but it sounds like you were in with some weird stuff, and it was all pretty normal.
Okay, good. This may sound strange, but I'm glad to hear that.
That sounds a bit strange, but I know what you mean.
I feel like I should have a lot more questions, but they're all swirling and I can't. It's Poppy.
Yes.
No, it's gone.
Are you okay?
Well, later.
Okay. Cool. Fine. Well, thank you so much. I'm sorry for your loss, but your children are delightful.
Oh, well, thank you. I think so too, even when they are being little terrors. And as soon as he says, like, little terrors, you hear something crash elsewhere in the house. And he just...
Right on cue.
Right on cue.
All right, well, we're going to get out of your hair, and let's get going, guys.
I says, well, it's nice to see you again, Poppy. Stop by if you... You're welcome to stop by if you just want to come for dinner or something.
Oh, thank you so much. Hey, is your brother still seeing me and that girl? Just curious.
No, they broke up a long time ago. He's been single for a little while.
Oh well, I may stop by dinner. All right, let's go. And I just head for the door.
You just bolt.
No, I just zoom away with my feet not touching the floor.
You just hover away. And Red, you're outside. You see the door open. Poppy hovers out.
Red probably doesn't notice. He's kind of wandering around, whispering, unless you guys have really high perception. But he's basically just trying to check if Shafafan is still around.
Hey, Red, hey, what's up, buddy?
Hey, how'd it going there?
Depressing, enlightening, mysterious.
So good.
And I
Kinda.
don't think we'll be finding any claims happening from here.
We're
With the Watcher saying that he was unsuitable. Sounds like he was looking for other marks, as they say, and did not think him to be one worth pursuing. Fortunately
yeah.
for him.
So, okay, so we think the Watcher is supernatural or not?
I think if it's not supernatural, it has a lot of power. But I think it might be supernatural, which sucks,
Either supernatural or it has very good arcane abilities.
Yes.
Do you think it was behind that bronze door in the crypt?
Very could possibly be.
Have y'all filled me in on that?
No.
Or is that the first time it's like, okay, what bronze door?
Down
Big.
in the mausoleum where we found where we confronted the Bodax. There were, when I was doing detecting of the undead, I sensed a unnatural presence on the other side of the doors. Only one that I could detect, but that could just mean that it was the only one within range.
And I think,
Go back and check that out.
yeah, I think Mildred also suspected that when she touched those gems that we pried out of the back of the necks of the Bodax, that it was from behind that door.
Mm-hmm.
Well, do we need to go see about that then?
If I might make a suggestion,
Oh, yeah.
we all battled quite heavily with the 3 Bodax that were there. I would suggest maybe we have more adequate rest before we go in there, not knowing what we're going to be up against, for sure. There could be more Bodax, or it could be, if it is this Watcher, we better make sure that we are at our full strength.
What if it's a devil?
Even more so.
What if they're not going to be there tomorrow? And today's our only chance to smite a devil.
That is true.
He does have a point.
Would you want to pass up a chance to smite something like that?
You know you want to smite.
With what few smites I have left. of the day, of course.
You know you want to smite it. You know you want to smite it. You know you want to smite it. You know you want to smite it.
As I said, was only a suggestion.
Oh, I'm good.
Whatever we feel is best to do, let us go do so. But what time of the day are we at right now?
It's like 2-ish. You still got some daylight.
And we still have 2 other witnesses to go see.
Yes, you do.
Do we?
We can hand wave that if you want. If you do want to go talk to them, I can just give you the synopsis. It's up to you all.
Can we just kind of like montage it?
Sure.
But it might be someone I know.
We can montage it briefly. So, Mildred departs the party. She is not feeling well, and she lets Poppy know that she'll be taking some sick leave for the rest of the day, so she can go rest and hopefully
I'll
rejoin
note that down on my notebook.
Yeah.
How does Poppy jot that down? What does it look like?
I don't know where I put all of my stuff, but it's essentially like, all right, Mildred, get some rest. And that's what that looks like.
All right.
Excellent.
And so you go talk to Lely and Elster, and the stories you get from them are similar. Basically, some perfectly legitimate reason to be in the graveyard, whether that is visiting a friend or relative's grave, or we'll say one of them went in as part of like a tour. Like, you know how cities always have like haunted graveyard tours or things like that, or like you go see the graves of famous people. We'll say
the ghost tour.
Yeah, the ghost tour. We'll say Lely is the one who went on the ghost tour. And in all of these cases, there's a couple of common threads. Always that the person was alone to some degree when they found the Watcher. So even Lely, who went there with the tour, she hung back to get a closer look at a grave or a mausoleum, some kind of inscription, and that was when the Watcher appeared to her. It was only after the rest of the tour had sort of moved on and she was alone. They all had a similar end to the encounter, where the Watcher basically just disappeared after determining that they were not suitable in some fashion. And all of them are clients of Waterdavian Farm. And they've been clients for a while. None of these encounters are particularly recent. The most recent would be Elster's, and his was 2 years ago.
Okay.
So maybe we should set a trap for this thing. Like, I could be wandering around by myself and just be like, I hope no one's watching me. And
I think that's very good. I think you should also shout out, I hope no one's watching me, because that will make it know that you're not prepared.
exactly. That's what I was thinking. And I can be like, I'm so gullible, but I'm the chosen. I'm the right one. And I can just repeat that over and over.
I think that is an excellent idea.
Shall we also give you a sign to carry that says, I love the Watcher?
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. Or we give him a sign that says, easy mark.
Yeah. Easy Mark, Rube.
Patron of Waterdavian Farms.
Yeah, I can. Yeah, definitely. What are Waterdavian Farms colors? I'll just paint myself with my mask. I can disguise myself. Does Waterdavian Farms have a mascot?
No. It has a very creepy, vaguely disturbing logo,
Yeah.
which involves eyes and tentacles.
And plus, according to the employee handbook, since you are an employee, you are also a policyholder based on one of the few benefits is what they call the barely variable life insurance policy, just almost but not quite enough to cover your burial expenses.
Well, at least they're helping in some way. That's so bad, though.
So that will help attract, since you do, I believe that policy kicks in from day one of start, so you're no longer on a probationary status on that. So maybe that might attract them.
Definitely. So we're going with that then?
Let's do that. Exactly that. Every part of that plan.
I can put the logo on my shirt and put it on my cloak. I can put it anywhere just because of my mask of many faces. So
yes, put it on the back of your cloak like it's a sports jersey.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, where are you guys going to be while I chum the water?
Let's hide behind a mausoleum.
Do you have invisibility?
I think I do, yes, actually.
I do not.
Warlock spellcasting. I do have invisibility.
Yeah, cast that on you and Scandalon, and I'm sure we only need 3 people to take on the Watcher.
What level are we casting at now with Warlock?
5th.
5th. I think that means I can get
2 or 3.
Yeah, so I can just do 1 casting of invisibility and get both of us.
Now, remember out there, don't be totally obvious, just merely obvious.
So play hard to get.
So do this the entire time. Ooh, ooh.
Yeah, I'll do that, and I'll just be like, I'm just a lost fire genasi with nowhere to go and a big Waterdavian Farms policy.
Oh, it's my big, huge Waterdavian Farms.
I was going to say, this is starting to sound suspiciously like a porno.
I'm out here all alone. It's so big.
I can minor illusion a very large scroll that my policy.
Yeah, be jubilant over the fact that you've just got this insurance account that you've just insured the family business.
Yeah, and I'll just have this insurance policy just dragging behind me.
My deductible, it's so massive.
You need to make some cheesy music too.
Make sure you grow a nice long mustache that goes down to here.
You think a mustache would help? Okay, I can make that happen. He puts on his mask and many faces like this, and it's just
perfect.
Oh my god.
Mildred leaves and we just go off the rails.
Yeah, completely off the rails. Into effectively making your own insurance porno to lure in.
This is an excellent idea and in no way will go wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, what could possibly go wrong with an idea like
Even
this?
if something goes wrong, it's still something that needs to happen, so who knows?
We did something like this in the Underdark when a couple years ago, and it went really well. We were trying to lure this tentacle face thing. I don't know what it was called, but anyways.
How many people died?
One of them it was weird to begin with, but went more weird. And then the other one had its brain sucked out, apparently.
Oh, so we're working on a scale of 1 to brain sucked out. We'll be fine.
Yeah, and I've got a lot of confidence in the entities I've been talking to, and my and my patron, very mysterious patron, but powerful.
Just remember, you don't have Shafafana to help you anymore.
Oh, it wasn't helping me at all. It was just, you should have seen it. It was just distracting me and was amusing for the first hour, but then it's just a lot.
So do we want to go ahead and go to the...
Yes.
Yes, let's get this set up. We set him up and...
All right.
Scandalon slowly shakes his head. I can't believe I'm actually going along with this plan.
Okay, so where do you go in the City of the Dead to set this up? Describe to me your ideal trap scenery.
Well, Red uses Mask of Many Faces to have a massive, thick 70s mustache and puts the Waterdavian Farm colors on and the emblem and has multiple scrolls that say insurance policy in bold letters sticking out of his pocket. That's what he's wearing. And then I guess the southern part of the City of the Dead, is that
Yeah.
And what else? I think that's it, right?
I believe so.
Okay, and then Poppy and Scandalon, you are going invisible and hiding behind a close mausoleum or something like that.
Mm-hmm. I will use one of my spells and we can invisibilize.
Okay. So Red, I'm gonna ask you to roll me a performance check as you ham it up, essentially trying to lure this entity in to talk to you. Whatever.
So he casts.
Oh, before Poppy turns us invisible, I put my hand on his shoulder and say, "Good luck, my friend," and I cast protection from evil and good on him.
And we are all blessed too.
That's true.
Yeah, we still have the blessing going, but I want to give him a little bit extra protection.
Oh, thank you.
Which means creatures of either aberrations, celestials, elementals, fae, fiends, and undead have disadvantage on attack rolls against you. You cannot be charmed, frightened, or possessed by them.
Cool.
Thank you. And Red cast Mage Armor right before they went down the stairs in the mausoleum today.
Yes.
So that's not... What's that?
So you have that still. That's not concentration, so you don't have to...
Right. Okay. So I still have that. Otherwise, he would just re-up that because he can cast it as much as he needs to. And I think that's it.
Okay. So let's do that performance check.
Bless gives me a D4.
Mm-hmm.
So fun fact, I was just rolling D20s while you guys were talking to Roderick, and I rolled 3 out of 4 were natural 20s on this die. So I got that out of my system.
You used them up?
So I actually just looked. Bless technically only works on attacks and saving throws, but I will rule that this is a combination of Bless and Guidance, so you can use it on...
we call it blindness.
Blindness, yes. And so you can use it on your skill checks as well.
Okay, excellent. Thank you. So that is going to be 21.
Whew, yeah. You put in the work to make this as convincing as you possibly can. As you...
A good bait.
Yeah, you make yourself the best bait you possibly can, walking around with these large scrolls, talking very loudly about the policies you have at Waterdavian Farms,
I just imagine the watcher like is talking, his internal monologue while he watches this is just like, you shouldn't. This is just a little too obvious. But it is. It does say Waterdavian Farms on those scrolls. No, but he's just being so hammy and just, you gotta check it. And then he just...
Yeah, that's... to be honest, you're probably not too far off.
Excellent.
So this was actually a pretty high check to clear to get this to happen. But it doesn't happen until after the sun goes down. So you have to wander around for, a good hour or two. And then after you've been wandering around for a few more minutes, you feel all the hairs on the back of your neck stand up as you get the sudden sensation of being watched. And a little ways off, underneath a very large tree, like one of those like big oaks, is a hooded figure, all in black, who is, in fact, watching you. It's very creepy.
Do we see it?
Yes. The two of you see it as well.
How far away is he? From us.
He is going to be 200 feet away from Red, and probably like an extra 20, 30 feet away from the two of you.
So I will keep walking. Is the watcher like just out, like he knows I see him or know he's there, or is he thinking he's hiding?
Well, I guess my question back to you would be, how obvious are you when you see him? Like, do you just kind of like out of the corner of your eye, or do you like turn your body to indicate that you've noticed he's there? Like, are you giving any indication that you've spotted him?
I won't until I'm within like 60 feet. And then I will be like, hi? Hello?
You say that, and this is very like Ghost of Christmas Future. He raises a hand, it raises a hand to point at you, and says, you are suitable.
I cast banishment.
Okay. Let's see about that, shall we?
Okay, here we go.
It'll buy us some time.
Do you though? Do you?
It's gonna counterspell it.
Do you stay or do you go?
I've got to look at the block. But potentially. Is banishment a wisdom saving throw, or does it?
Charisma. Which is not good, probably.
Yeah, he'll counterspell you.
So that will be. It's cast at 5th level,
Yep.
so.
I gotta roll for it. All right, so you start to speak the words to cast banishment, and this being that's like pointing at you just turns its hand and snaps its fingers, and you feel the spell just kind of fade out.
Bummer.
I want to start moving in that direction, being invisible, and I want to be able to get within 60 feet of him.
Sure, you can start moving in that direction, yeah.
Double counter.
I do the same.
What are you doing, Red?
Oh, I was just. Red assumes when he walks over there that Poppy and Scandalon are following him, but Jake was just saying, hopefully Poppy has counterspell and can counterspell his counterspell.
I don't think Poppy's going to be close enough for that at this point.
Yeah, I'm booking it that direction. I'm like doing the...
Yeah.
Well, I'm invisible, but it would look like a weird black ghost zooming through at top speed.
Yeah, in another round she will be. Effectively another couple seconds. And the creature with its arm still pointing at you says, no more foolish magic.
It's not, hey, I wasted a good spell slot on you.
And then it says...
Don't be so creepy.
It says, I have a deal for you.
Well, it better be good. You're being real creepy. You could just say hello.
And so it had pointed its finger at you, and then it had snapped its fingers, and now it opens its hand, and you can see that it's holding several gold pieces in its hand. And it says, we would like to offer you a payment.
Am I there yet?
Yes, you are close enough to be hearing the conversation.
I would like to take out my wand of web and sling it in the direction of that, and I want to center the web spell right on it.
Okay.
That is, since I've the...
So you, just to be clear, you will no longer be invisible after this happens.
Any spell. So, but I want to keep it there. So that's why and I assume that there would be somewhere for this thing to anchor, because this is like a place full of mausoleums and trees and stuff. Is that fair to assume?
Yeah, that's fair to assume.
Yes.
Yeah. So what's the effect of the web spell?
Okay, you conjure the web spell 20-foot cube from that point. For the duration, the webs are difficult terrain and lightly obscure the area. If the webs aren't anchored between two solid masses or across the floor, the spell collapses in on itself. Webs, or each creature that start its turn in the web that enters makes it a dex saving throw. If they fail, they are restrained as long as it remains in the webs or until it breaks 3.
Okay. What's your spell save DC?
My spell save DC is a lot. Let me pull it up. My spell save DC is it's somewhere. 18.
Okay. So you whip out your wand and cast web at this thing. And these sticky webs appear all over this place. The head tilts toward you a little bit, and you get the full sense of the weight of that gaze being upon you. It's not really a pleasant sensation. And then the head cranes back around to Red. It's still got its arm.
I'm surprised. I'm acting surprised.
Yeah, that's fine. It's still got its hand held out with the gold pieces in it. And it says, we would like to offer you a payment in exchange for a favor.
You got to be more specific than that. I wasn't born on last Sunday.
It says, what policies do you hold with Water Davian Farm?
Well, I got an awfully good life insurance policy. And I got a horse insurance policy that I really should be canceling, but it was just like a horse of my buddies, and I can't. It's just an emotional attachment thing. I can't not. Anyways, and then I have a lapsed. I have an old adventuring policy, and I have a condo policy for all of my possessions in the condo, and I have an umbrella policy, and I I have a policy that will, if I choose to ever go to school and I drop out or fail, it will pay for all the schooling I did before I was kicked out or failed. Feel like I'm missing a few.
Let me ask you a question. How many of these are actual policies that you have? And I will let you determine that. Like, how much is Red bluffing here?
Oh, well, he's got the one that Scandalon was talking about. So yeah, I mean, he's just got the one that Scandalon was talking about. So he's bluffing a lot.
All right, make me a deception check.
Did he end up getting caught in those webs or no?
It's really hard to tell because he hasn't moved. So
it was good.
Okay.
That's a 23.
Okay. It tilts its head a little bit as you list off the policies. And then, still with its hand outstretched, it says, you will hide your possessions and make a claim on your condo policy that a thief has stolen your most precious items. In exchange, and it moves its fingers so that the coins jangle a little bit in its hand. It says, we will pay you 1,000 gold.
I mean, so I used to be an adventurer, and I've seen a dragon horde before, and I've gotten away with some of it. And 1,000 gold is really, my adventuring party was able to go through 1,000 gold in a weekend.
We are only asking a very simple task.
But you're also not giving me any information for the story. I'm going to have to come up with that myself. You're asking me to use my creative genius. This is all part of the, that goes into the accounting of this payment. You're asking me to do that on my own. You're asking me someone's going to come investigate. I'm going to have to do a performance. I mean, it can make me, it's got to be better. Do you got anything better?
I raised my hand.
As he's doing this, I am doing my best, staying invisible and trying to get right behind him. As I get closer, can I tell if her webbing has ensnared him or not?
Make a perception check for me, Scandalon. Poppy, are you doing that in character, trying to get Red's attention?
I'm never going to do this again.
I'm trying to
Two natural 20s in a row.
Jesus. All right. Yeah. You get a little bit close up to it to really peer in. You do not think this creature is restrained by the webbing.
Okay.
I'm just waving my arm, trying to get one of them to look at me.
Wait, excuse me, miss. Are you?
Yeah. Who are you? Why do you keep saying we?
Who are you?
Can I see? Show us your face.
The head tilts over to look at you.
And as soon as he does that, I try to grapple him.
Okay.
It's like grappling a squid.
Thinking about how I want to handle this. Hang on.
Power
You
word
got it.
kill.
Okay. You reach out to try to grapple him, and your hand passes right through.
Okay.
And on the other side, Red and Poppy, the two of you can see the creature looks down, and sees, like, you guys can just, like, see the tip of Scandalon's fingers, basically. And then it snaps its fingers again, and it blinks out of existence and blinks back into existence about 60 feet away. So still within talking range, but at a little bit of a distance now.
And
Do we see his face? Did he show us his face?
He did not show his face.
When Red sees this, he's just like, who are these people? What's going on?
Who are we? Why do you say we? That's weird. Who is we?
It looks at you, Poppy, and says, we have no need to explain ourselves to you. And then its head rolls back around to you, Red, and says, we are willing to offer 2,000 gold.
Is there any apprehension in the voice, or is it just like very HAL 9000?
Yeah, it's a little bit mechanical. It doesn't really seem to have emotions. Not that you
like it cares about money or something. Like
yeah, you don't get any sense of that.
Okay. That's you doubled the offer, and I appreciate that. You know, I'm gonna take you up on that offer because I have some plans, vacation, and that's not relevant, but just yeah, I like this. So what am I supposed to take your word for it, or how does this work?
So it still, you know, it had its hand up, right? It puts that hand down and raises the other hand, and you see a little sack, little pouch, purse, and it underhanded throws that purse at you, and the purse lands maybe 10 feet from you with a very audible thunk. Like, this is solid. And the being puts its hand back down and says, we are willing to extend a little bit of good faith. It says, but be warned, should you decide not to go ahead with our agreement, we will know. And we will come extract our payment.
Oh, is that's the end of the sentence? Okay. So what if I don't spend it and I change my mind and I want to give it back to you?
What you do with the money is not our concern. If you take it, you have entered into our agreement.
I've got a lot of agreements. Okay. So I guess you're just going to wait and see if I pick up the money now, or are you going to take off?
Should I do it now, Poppy?
Do it.
I'm waiting to see what Red does first.
I think Red's waiting to trying to figure out how to get out of this.
Okay, if that's what you're doing, I'm gonna channel divinity and try to turn the unholy.
Yes.
Okay.
Please work. He might not be there. It could be mislead or something.
That's perfectly fine. This is as much as investigative as it is combative.
Sure.
So you channel your divinity
Mm-hmm.
to you have turn undead, right?
Let's see. I can sense your fiends and undead. Each fiend or undead that I can see or hear within 30 feet must make a wisdom saving throw. Has to be to 15. On failure, it's turned for 1 minute or until it takes damage.
Okay. It's still standing there.
Okay.
Can
I tell if he resisted it, or can I tell that it didn't even affect him at all?
Well, you're not 100% sure he's undead, So if
Exactly.
if you wanted to use one of your abilities to determine whether or not he's undead, that would give you a pretty definitive answer. Just looking at it, you're not really sure.
Okay. Yeah, I'd like to do that.
Okay. While you're doing that,
Whichever.
Poppy, what are you?
I want to Eldritch Blast him.
Okay.
Yeah. Since I have not Eldritch Blasted with this character for a while, let me just look. How many blasts do I have?
2.
At this
Just
point.
the-
Rolled a 19.
19. Wow, you're rolling great today.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm going to. Oh no, my die. So the first one is going to be I believe a 15 to hit.
Okay, that misses.
All right, and then the second beam is going to be a 16 to hit.
Also a miss.
Damn.
So you pew, and this thing, to be honest, goes like right over his shoulder on either side, and this thing doesn't seem like phased at all remotely. Scandalon, you try to use your abilities to sense, unholy things as a paladin.
Mm-hmm.
You're getting a reading off of this thing, but it's real strange. It's undead, maybe? Or undead adjacent? But it's not...
Almost nearly undead.
It's weird because you're... Normally you can, when you sense an undead, like, you sense an undead, right?
Right.
This is almost not registering. Almost. Like, you have to be... I mean, you're pretty close in, and even here, it's still like a flickery, wavery sense for you. Like, every now and then you get a stronger surge of it where you can really feel that that's definitely an undead. Yes, for sure. And then it recedes a little bit, and you don't get as much sense of it as being anything that would register as unholy to you.
Like a fluctuating radio signal.
A little bit, yeah, like a fluctuating radio signal.
So instead of undead, it's dead.
Yeah. It's maybe dead.
He's almost nearly undead.
Dead.
Mostly undead is
Okay.
hardly alive.
Okay. All right. That's what I wanted to find out. Thank you. There's
and
method in my madness.
It's still watching you, Red. Waiting to see what you do.
So,
Question. Can I roll a perception roll to see if he even noticed the Eldritch Blasts going by him?
Sure, if you want.
End of the shriek. 4.
Yeah, you have no idea.
Okay.
so Red is still like, what? Who's firing at you or me? Are they firing at me? This is weird. Does he do anything, or is he just looking?
It says inconsequential.
Oh, if they're firing at me, it's consequential. I'll tell you that much. But don't. This is really. Those were some sort of magic. I'm familiar with magic, as you know, and I don't know. So was Poppy on the opposite side of? So when she fired the Eldritch Blasts, were they?
They went past you toward it.
Oh.
Cause it like teleported more or less.
Uh-huh.
So like she was up near it and then it teleported away.
Yeah, so Red would have ducked down and then would have like kind of moved to the side and would just be looking around back, and it's like, well, can I make an insight check on this thing in terms of what do I want to? I want to know if I think it knows that I have people with me and this is a trap or something.
Okay. Yeah, you can roll insight for that.
No, that's not going to work. I rolled a 3.
This thing is so hard to read. You can't see its face. Sure. It's not really moving, and the only movements it's doing with its arms are very stiff and not quite robotic, but definitely they don't natural. So it's hard to get any kind of bead on what this thing is noticing or what its thought processes are.
So I'm going to say to it that, I feel like we should get to know each other before we enter into this contract. Who am I? Who are you? And then I'm going to try to cast Charm Monster at 5th level.
Oh, God. All right. Is that wisdom?
Yes. Come on.
And your spell save DC is?
18.
Nice.
Okay. It looks at you, tilts its head a little bit again, and then says, "There is no need for us to get to know each other."
Damn it. So I know it didn't work.
Yeah, you can feel that the spell did not take hold.
Did it not take hold as in it's like I cast it on nothing as in there's an illusion, or did it not take hold as in its will overcame?
There was something there. I mean, you definitely were able to cast the spell on it. It just seemed to throw it off.
Okay, so it felt like the spell was trying to take hold and all that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so definitely it was castable. It just resisted.
Can I please just try to smack it again in the face?
Sure.
All right. And
That's not going to do anything.
Point of order. I forgot I have the Rod of the Pact Keeper, so I actually have a +1 to my stuff.
I have the same thing.
Okay.
So it is 19 and 11 instead of 18 and 10.
Okay.
I believe.
Are you using D&D Beyond?
No, we have a sheet that she provided us with.
Oh, okay. Because I have the same thing, and it automatically.
And yours is 18 and 10?
Yeah, and I have 20 charisma, so I assume you're using.
Okay, then never mind. I already had that added, so forget it. I was wrong. It is just an 18 because I'm bad at things. Okay.
Okay.
So the first one goes really wildly wide.
Okay.
The second one, seems like it's gonna hit him, and then the thing puts out a hand and clenches it into a fist, and you see just a barrier get thrown up.
Oh.
And this your Eldritch Blast just kind of bounces off of it.
All right, well, this is bad then. Okay, so we now know the limits, and this is not great. So, one last question. Can you at least tell me, who you're, what you look like, buddy, please?
Who are you?
It's just ignoring you, Poppy, at this point. When it
waving my arm. Please answer one question.
Which is really the big torture for Poppy.
Whenever you cast that Eldritch Blast that was going to hit it, and it did that, it didn't even look at you.
I'm real mad right now. I'm just God damn it.
She tries. She pulls out a clipboard and starts, and then she looks at it. I can't write them up. Damn it.
Shit.
So Red is going to. I feel Red is if I accept, we can possibly set up another trap. But he said he'll know if I change my mind. So maybe it'll just all go bad and I'll lose my job because I was told him I was going to commit insurance fraud.
It's part of the investigation.
That's what I was thinking. That's why I did it. But also I'll pick up the bag, the 2,000. I assume it's in platinum. Otherwise, it'd be probably pretty darn heavy.
Yeah, it's just a couple pieces of platinum in there. And the being says, "We have an accord." And then it just vanishes.
Well, allow me to add 2,000 gold to my...
That's true. You have 2,000 gold now.
Enjoy it while you can.
Do you have a condo, Red?
Yeah, in the North Ward, the rich fancy place, and he's gonna have to move out because he found out recently how low his pay is. He's gonna have to downsize.
Oh no. But he doesn't have money in the bank?
He does, but he's not a good saver of money.
Well, so I think he just sold part of his soul, which is not the best thing to do.
Who?
You.
No. This is part of the investigation. This is I'm doing this so we can set up another trap.
He's working undercover.
Yes. That's why I kept saying, "Who are these people? Who's this Eldritch Blast lady? Who's the guy with the hand through the Watcher?"
I can't believe he wouldn't even. I mean, it's just rude at that point, I mean, it's just rude.
Well, I think he thinks he's above us.
I have a feeling he is.
Well, now that that's over, he
was definitely not corporeal. When I tried to grapple him, my hands went right through him.
So here's the thing. DM.
Yes.
Since we have pretty much very solidly confirmed that this was not a grab for cash, this man was murdered.
Mm-hmm.
We pay out to the family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have everything you need to authorize that payout.
So here's what I think we should do. Let's go, get a little overtime, finish this up. Put the things through so they can resurrect him.
So you are authorized to approve overtime?
Am I authorized to approve overtime?
Yeah.
I'm approving this overtime.
Okay.
to finish up this case today. And you know what? I'll go ahead and fudge it a little and authorize overtime for Mildred too.
It's kind of you.
I'll just fudge it just a little bit so it looks like she worked the full day.
I'm banking.
Yeah.
Okay. So you guys are going back to the office then?
Yeah, let's head back to the office. We need to regroup.
And finish this up and confirm that.
Okay. So you all have no problem crossing Waterdeep to go back to the Waterdeepian Farms office. It is now probably like 7, 8 o'clock because you had to wait to get this creature to appear to you. So the office is mostly deserted. There's a few people still here.
Can I, on the way back, are there any children who look poor or street children, for lack of a better term? I want to flip one of them who doesn't seem like a jerk or like a bully kid, flip him a platinum.
Okay.
And just say, "Hey, it's for you, kid. Get off the streets. Do something good," and just keep walking.
Okay. You hear, "Thanks, mister," from behind you.
You got it. And Jake's doing this because he wants to see if the DM will do something to the kid based on the kid getting a piece of this Watcher's money. So yeah. So.
Oh, I love it when my players test my my resolve to do terrible things.
The kid's gonna turn into a crime boss overnight or something.
That would be pretty funny. Okay, yeah, so the kid goes scrambling off. You all get back to Waterdaving Farm. What all do you want to do this evening while you've got some time in the office?
I mean, finish up. I'm going to go upstairs and authorize the overtime.
Okay, sure.
After we finish filing the papers to approve the claim, including the fact that it was a murder, that it was manslaughter/murder, I am going to go to the temple and go to the archives to see if I can find anything either mentioning the Watcher or referencing a creature like him.
Okay. Maybe an investigation check for that.
Okay.
And if you can't tell, we're also sort of going into your long rest. So if you have other evening activities that you want to cover.
Just contact other plane.
Okay.
Yeah, we only got 10 minutes. We gotta get your contact with other plane for the day in.
Okay. Roll. Ooh. Rolls are going back. With the bless, it's 21.
Nice. Okay, so you find a couple mentions of this creature in the temple's archives. It's been appearing off and on. The temple's records of it go back about 20 years. And from what they've been able to tell, most of the people who've seen it haven't really had any kind of conversation with it. It watches and then leaves, which is where the name Watcher comes from. But there's a few notations of isolated incidences where the temple was able to gain an admission or evidence of some kind of deal that took place. And all of them were similar to the one that you just saw go down, essentially. Where the creature offered payment in exchange for some kind of fraud.
Okay.
The temple is not sure what this thing is. There's quite a bit of speculation. Everything from some kind of supercharged ghost to some kind of a shard of some kind of extraplanar entity to maybe a lich.
Oops.
Just it's truly
all over the
unknown.
place.
Yeah, it's all over the place, and there's a lot of people who are leaning toward the ghost theory in particular, just because many of the other clerics and paladins, much like you, have gotten the sense that it is undead or undead related, but they haven't been able to really put their finger on what exactly it is.
Okay.
Red,
did you want to contact other plane?
Yes, I would also cast detect magic with my my eldritch eyes and check the platinum.
Sure.
Look normal.
There's a faint glimmer of divination on it.
Okay. Well, better be spending this quick, he says to himself, and then he will contact other plane.
Okay. And are you making your concentrated effort to try to reach your new entity? The one you spoke with earlier?
Yeah, the sharp, hungry one, I think I wrote down.
Yes.
Yeah.
The sharp hungry one.
We've got the slimy, tentacly one and the sharp, hungry one.
Yeah, the needy, slimy, tentacle one or the sharp, hungry entity. I put needy. That's an editorialization of. You didn't say that, but that's Red's feeling. So, can he try to mix it up a little again? Try to find another
new?
one? Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
He will do that.
So yeah, you change up your a little bit of your ritual setup to try to reach a different extraplanar entity. You feel the connection go through, and that it is definitely something different. This one is more eerie. As maybe the
Do I
best
need to
way.
roll for it still?
Oh, yeah. Sorry, I forgot about that. Yes, you need to roll for it. I will laugh if you fail this and you get a new effect after just having gotten rid of Shavapana.
I rolled a 9, but hold on. I have to beat a 15 minutes intelligence saving throw, so that's 13. I failed.
Alrighty. Well, give me one sec as I look up something new and fun to assign to you now that...
Tune in next week for Dungeons and Deductibles, Shafafana Part 2.
Part 2.
The return of
Shafafana.
Shafafana.
It'll be Shafafana's brother, Pafafana. I also take 66 psychic damage, which is half, but
That is
also
true.
because of my great old one class feature, it also takes that damage.
Oh.
Okay. So... 6... It's 20 psychic, so half is 10.
And it takes 20, I think.
And...
That's what you get messing with my boy.
As it has like 2,000 hit points, whatever it is, and it's just
As it picks up the phone, it crumples in a heap and dies.
let's see here.
There's nobody here to answer your call. All calls will be ignored in the order that they were received.
Mm-hmm.
All right, go ahead and roll me a D100.
$42. Everything's gonna be fine. That's the answer to everything.
42.
Red grows another head.
The nerd number.
You suddenly find a towel draped over your shoulder.
Yeah, exactly. Tell you what, I don't actually like 42, so I'm going to assign you something adjacent. Let's see. So are you performing this at home?
No, I was performing this at work in the stall that I did the last one.
So the thing that I'm assigning you is that you now regard something with intense revulsion. So basically, you hate it, and it's the worst thing in the world. And I'm debating what I want to make the source. Something that would be humorous, but also is...
His spell book.
Oh, that's good. I like that, actually. Yeah, your tome.
Come on, what the heck?
Your tome.
Robert, you don't want to go down this road because the shoe will be on the other foot at some point.
Your tome is now a source of revulsion, which is not to say that you can't still use it and carry it.
Yeah,
but
I'm just gagging. I'm just going...
yeah, you're real not pleased by it anymore. To be fair, it does say that the something is usually the source of the madness. So in this case, you cast your spell, which
Out
I
of my
assume
ritual book, yeah.
you have in
Makes
your
sense.
ritual book. So that does actually make sense. Yes. Is there anything else anyone wants to do in the evening in particular?
Other than hitting the taco truck for a dozen soft tacos to go, that's all I'll eat.
All right.
I need something to munch on while I'm doing the research.
Cool. Yeah, that's a great idea. All right, so then I'm going to skip ahead a little bit. So you all get your quiet evening at home, long rest, recover all your spells, hit points, things of that nature. And you come into the office the next day, fully ready for Karen to assign you a new case. And instead, when you arrive, the company is in uproar. People are just wandering around, talking in clumps. Poppy, you've not seen anything like this since the days when the board was going missing.
Mm-hmm.
And...
oh no, who died?
Yeah, that's being your first reaction, right? And Mork pulls you aside, Poppy.
Oh.
To let you know.
I'm shocked that I see him out of his office.
And I'm not going to attempt to do Mork's voice because I'm not Nat. But Mork pulls you aside, Poppy, and tells you that the company's financial statements are in turmoil. And you might need to furlough some employees today. Because the balance sheets are all out of whack. And the company is a hair's breadth from going out of business. And that's where we're going to stop.
Really happy I took that money now. In case I get furloughed.
Oh no. So the next episode is it's all just them having an adventure and then just cutting to me bringing people into the office.
Yeah, we don't even need... It's just going to be Danielle and Hannah next week. Just role-playing firing people.
It's going to be like that Up in the Air movie. Just firing people.
Here's the thing.
Fortunately, I have the temple to...
work here, but unfortunately...
Fortunately, I do have the temple to go back to.
You do. So you're okay. So we will deal with that next time. Let's go ahead and go around. And we will start with Hannah.
Hi, I'm Hannah. I am Asbestos Tito's on Twitter. And Miss_Murphy on Instagram. I don't really have any other RPG things I do. This is it. Trying to start a podcast on RP, but that's kind of going slow. So right now, I'm just, if you want to follow me for just a lot of just vampire content, go ahead and follow me. But if you're not interested in that, move along.
I mean, that's honest. Robert.
Take it or leave it.
All right, I'm Robert, Kentucky Hawkeye, KY Hawkeye, on just about all the social media outlets except Facebook. I don't do Facebook. I make by direct choice, but you can find me obviously here on Wednesdays. My other D&D streams are kind of on a break hiatus thing, except for Friday nights, 10 p.m. Rural Zero Gaming, where we are getting ready to start a new campaign, and we're going to be having a couple of fundraising streams here coming up, one in November and one in December for Toys for Tots. So look forward to some one shots with that. Otherwise, my regular streams Tuesday nights at 6 p.m. Eastern time. We're doing my Lego game series. We're well into Lego's Marvel Superheroes 2. Thursday nights, same time, is my weekly Skyrim serial. Currently doing the Dark Thalmor. We're a member of the Aldemary Dominion is seeking out Daedric artifacts and trying to battle the Stormcloaks and the Imperials. And then coming up this Friday, I'll be re-premiering my WWE stream. It is now called Grappler's Keep. I've had to change the name because I found that Saving Throw is already used by someone on YouTube for a D&D related stream, so I didn't want to cause any duress or confusion or letters to cease and desist or anything like that. So it is now called Grappler's Keep, and it is Saturday nights at 7 p.m. Otherwise, you can find me around Twitch during the evenings, Cancer Cleric by day, RPG Fanboy by night.
Excellent. And Jake?
Hey everyone, I'm Jake Friday. You can find me on Twitter at Jake Friday, on Instagram at Jake of the Friday. And Sunday for the next Sunday here, where I play in Trophy Gold, the RPG, and that's at 11 p.m. Pacific, or a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern. In 30 minutes, because we had to rearrange our schedule, I will be DMing a Baldur's Gate game, Sent into Avernus. We are in Low Lantern in Baldur's Gate, and that will be on twitch.tv/ventureventures. So that's at 8 p.m. Pacific, really late Eastern, 11. So yeah, check it out.
Excellent. And she's not here anymore, but Sintu was playing Mildred. Sintu unfortunately needed to step away, but hopefully she will be back for our next session. I am your GM, Danielle. You can find me on Twitter at RyRacontor. I'm here on Variant Rolls on Fridays at 8 p.m. for the Portland Files, our Dresden Files RPG game. I finally got the chance to set something on fire as a wizard last week, and it was glorious. So you should come check out the aftermath of that. Also on Saturdays, I usually am playing Invisible Sun on at Other Doc's channel. Very strange, weird, surreal game. It is quite the trip and unlike anything else, so you should check that out too. Just as a heads up, a little bit of housekeeping for everyone. With Thanksgiving coming up in the United States, we will be taking a 2-week break. So our next session will actually be, December 11th. Okay. So we will not see you for a little bit of time, but when we come back, we will hopefully be able to figure out what the heck's going on, what's happening at Waterdavian Farms, and sort all that out. Last but not least, if you like our show, if you like the other shows on this channel, Patreon information is down below. You should check that out. You can also subscribe to the channel or follow the channel. You should do either of those things. I know they're trying to get to 1,000 followers on Twitch by the end of 2019, so follow because it's quick and easy and free, and it still helps the channel. And you should also check out lots of the other games. Tomorrow night is going to be Project VHS, which is run by Dan and is really, really cool. It's very sci-fi and occult and weird, which is Dan's really good at. So definitely check that out. Follow, Patreon, subscribe, and we'll see you in 2 weeks. Have a happy Thanksgiving if you're in the U.S. If not, we hope your 2 weeks are excellent, and we'll see you then.
Bye.
Take care, y'all.